Good day. This video is going to be about the topic is history repeating itself. But this is going to be the NBA version. The reason why I'm making this video is because last playoffs 2025, it was the Minnesota Timberwolves against the Los Angeles Lakers, and then in game one of that series, one of the commentators said that they were forcing, or it was like they were forcing Anthony Edwards, who's the star player of the Minnesota Timberwolves, to watch the NBA Finals of 1991, which was between Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson, between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Chicago Bulls. And then also there's some talk going around that Anthony Edwards could be the replacement, or at least this generation's Michael Jordan. So that's why I decided to make this video. The first picture here is just, once again, LeBron James is on the left on the Lakers, and then Anthony Edwards is on the right on the Timberwolves. This is from the series of last year, 2025 Minnesota Timberwolves against the Los Angeles Lakers. And then here is another picture of LeBron James and Anthony Edwards. Here they were defending each other. I think this is either game 2 or game 4. But I think it's game 2. I think it was game 2. And then this here is an article that I found in which Michael Jordan himself was acknowledging that Anthony Edwards is similar to him. It says here that the title reads, Michael Jordan agrees with comparison between him and Anthony Edwards. It says NBA legend Michael Jordan recently agreed with the modern-day comparison of Minnesota Timberwolves' Anthony Edwards, according to a report. This is from March 19th, 2024. And then on the right, I just showed a picture of, I just got a picture of Anthony Edwards and Michael Jordan. And then this here is a picture that I found when I was looking for some comparisons between NBA players, the legends of the previous generations and the people who are playing today. And I saw this comparison here, this picture here comparing LeBron James with Magic Johnson. And then next I wanted to go through the 1991 NBA Finals, because this series was very, very similar to the series that was there last season between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Los Angeles Lakers. Both series ended in 5 games. Okay, this is what it says here. It says the 1991 NBA Finals was the championship series of the National Basketball Association's 1990 to 1991 season and the conclusion of the season's playoffs. It was also the first NBA Finals broadcast by NBC after 17 years with CBS. The Eastern Conference champion Chicago Bulls took on the Western Conference champions Los Angeles Lakers for the title, with Chicago having home court advantage. It was Michael Jordan's first NBA Finals appearance, Magic Johnson's last, and the last NBA Finals for the Lakers until 2000. The Bulls would win the series 4-1 or 4-1. Jordan averaged 31.2 points on 56% shooting, 11.4 assists, 6.6 rebounds, 2.8 steals, and 1.4 blocks en route to his first NBA Finals MVP award. The series was not the first time that the Bulls and Lakers faced off in the playoffs. Prior to 1991, they met for 4 postseason series. They were in 1968, 1971, 1972, and 1973, all Lakers victories. Chicago was a member of the Western Conference at the time, and moved into the East in 1980. The 1991 finals marked the first time the Bulls defeated the Lakers in a playoff series. This series would mark the end of the Lakers' Showtime era and the beginning of the Bulls' dynasty. After winning 5 championships in 8 finals appearances in the 1980s, the Lakers would struggle for the rest of the 1990s before winning 5 championships between the 2000 and 2010 seasons. So the reason why I decided to read that the biography of, or the description of the 1991 NBA Finals was because, as I mentioned previously, in the 2025 NBA playoffs between the Timberwolves and the Lakers, the series ended in 5, with the Timberwolves winning 4-1. And then by then it was in reverse though, because in 1991 the Bulls lost game 1, but then they went on to win the next 3. No, they lost game 1 and then they won the next 4. But then in 2025, the last year, the Timberwolves won game 1 and then they lost game 2, but then they were able to win the remaining games and then win the series in 5. So that's one of the similarities. And once again, he says in the description that this was Magic Johnson's last NBA Finals, and then after that it was the time of Michael Jordan. So just my own perspective, this series between LeBron James and Anthony Edwards last year, that signaled a shift. It's not going to be, I don't believe that LeBron James is going to be able to win other championships again. I think the one in 2020 was his last, unless the NBA does something and then they make sure that he wins this year. Because my own point of view, once again, is that I think LeBron James is going to retire after this season. So that's why they had to make sure that he plays at least Anthony Edwards in the first round, because they already played in I think it was in the 2023 NBA playing tournament, but then the Timberwolves lost that, and then the Lakers won that. But then in the playoffs of last year, the Timberwolves won. So they had to make sure, I think the NBA had to make sure that Anthony Edwards and LeBron James play each other at least once, and then Anthony Edwards, him being victorious, showed that it's not going to be his. I'm not going to say that it's going to be his time now to reign in the NBA, similar to how Michael Jordan reigned. I'm not going to say that he's going to win six championships, so have two three-peats like Michael Jordan. But I think he's gonna win. He has to win at least three. And then I also think that similar to Michael Jordan, winning all, uh, not losing, not having a loss in the NBA Finals. I also think Anthony Edwards is not going to lose in the NBA Finals, similar to Michael Jordan, but we shall see. Okay, continuing on in the description of the 1991 NBA Finals, it also says that the 1991 Lakers were led by Johnson, who was 31 and playing in what would be his last full season, as well as fellow All-Star teammate James Worthy. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had retired 2 seasons earlier. The Bulls, led by Jordan and small forward Scottie Pippen, would win 5 more championships after 1991 in a 7-year span, cementing their status as a dynasty. Jordan became only the fourth player in NBA history after Joe Fox, George Mikan, and Abdul-Jabbar to capture the scoring title and a championship in the same season. And then, okay, these are just pictures from the 1991 NBA Finals. On the left is a promotional poster showing Michael Jordan on the left and then Magic Johnson on the right. And then the one on the picture on the right is just Michael Jordan defending Magic Johnson. I think that's from game 5. Okay, this here are just the scores from the games between the Bulls and the Lakers. The one on the left is the 1991 NBA Finals, and then the one on the right is the Lakers versus Timberwolves from 2025 from last year. As as you can clearly see, both of these series ended in 5 games. So that's a similarity between both series. And if you go back and watch that game 1, the whole game, and then you listen to one of the commentators, he was mentioning how they told one of the assistant coaches or one of the trainers told Anthony Edwards to watch the 1991 NBA Finals, and then the commentator said that they told Anthony Edwards that he cannot go he cannot go at the king, or he cannot go around the king or through the king. He has to go at the king, meaning he has to face him head on. He cannot try to bypass his way through and then defeat him. He has to go at him directly. That's what he said. And then when I heard that, I immediately understood that there is definitely a link between Michael Jordan and Anthony Edwards. That's why they made Anthony Edwards. It was like they forced him to watch that NBA Finals series between the Bulls and the Lakers. Okay, the next aspect of this video that I want to speak about is this nickname that LeBron James has, where he calls himself King James. And the reason why he calls himself that is because, in my own perspective, is that he is a descendant of the King James of England, King James the First slash the Sixth, who was the ruler of England during the Middle Ages. I believe in the 15th century, 15th to not 15th, 16th to 17th century. The first picture on the left is just this was when LeBron James first came into the NBA, and then he says King James believed the hype, the LeBron James story by someone called Ryan Jones, and then the one in the middle is just this is LeBron when I was in Cleveland. He says, "Long live the King, King James, LeBron James." And then the one on the right is the one of him on the Lakers. I believe this was from the 2022-2023 season. It just says King James and then it shows LeBron James with a crown on his head. Okay, this here is just a biography of King James of England. He says here that he says here James the Sixth and the first House of Stuart. He was born on 19th June 1566 and then he died on 27th March 1625. Was King of Scots as James the Sixth from the 24th of July 1567 and King of England and Ireland as James the First from the union of the English and Scottish crowns on 24th March 1603 until his death. The kingdoms of England and Scotland were individual sovereign states with their own parliaments, judiciary, and laws, though both were ruled by James in personal union. He became King of Scotland at the age of 13 months, succeeding his mother Mary, Queen of Scots, who had been compelled to abdicate in his favor. Four different regents governed during his minority, which ended officially in 1578, though he did not gain full control of his government until 1583. In 1603, he succeeded the last Tudor monarch of England and Ireland, Elizabeth I, who died without issue. He continued to reign in all three kingdoms for 22 years, often using the King of Great Britain and Ireland until his death in 1625 at the age of 58. He based himself in England, the largest of the three realms, from 1603. James began the plantation of Ulster and of North America. The reason why I read the description is because of the sentence where it says that King James continued to reign in all three kingdoms for 22 years. LeBron James right now, this is his 23rd season. So once again, the things are lining up for him to either this is going to be his last season or he's going to play one more year and then that's going to be it. But it says there that King James reigned for 22 years. Once again, King James, the reason why LeBron James uses that nickname and the reason why the NBA allows him to use that nickname is because he's a descendant of King James. He has to be. That's why he calls himself King James. And then King James ran for 22 years. LeBron James is in his 23rd season right now. That's just one more, but it links there are too many connections. It links up too much for it just to be a coincidence. Okay. The last thing that I want to say before I end this video is that I thought that the Timberwolves were going to win the NBA Finals last season, but then the Thunder came and then they were able to win. So I think in order for if whenever Anthony Edwards defeats the Thunder, whether it's this year, next year, or whatever year, I think that's when he's gonna win the NBA Finals. And if the Thunder don't win the NBA Finals this year, then it's gonna be Anthony Edwards who's gonna be the first person, since he's gonna be have the first, him and his team will be the first team since the Golden State Warriors of 2018 to repeat. Good day.